All right, good morning. Thanks for joining me today on learning how to make French toast. I really like this recipe. French toast is a super easy breakfast option. It comes together real quick. It's a good source of carbs. As I mentioned in the recipe, if you're looking for ways to add protein, certainly you could always pair this with some eggs, but you also could just do things like adding Greek yogurt to it as well. So I'm really versatile, but as you'll see today, we're going to be able to throw this recipe together in about 10, maybe 15 minutes. I really like this recipe because it also gets us a little bit of fruit and a little bit of healthy fat. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare our fruit topping. So what I'm going to do is I have a bag of frozen fruit here. This is a cherry berry medley, but certainly if you prefer blueberries, if you like strawberries, whatever you have could work. Frozen fruits are a great option because they're very affordable. They can last in your freezer for a long time. So just turning the burner on. As you can see, I've got two skillets out here. One's going to be for the topping, one's going to be for the French toast. So I've got just this smaller one here for the fruit. And I'm turning the burner down to about medium-low because we're really just trying to get it warmed up. And so I'm going to add about a cup of frozen fruit to the burner. And then for my healthy fats, I have pecans. Our recipe actually calls for walnuts, but then when I was getting ready this morning, I realized I didn't have walnuts, and I do have pecans. So really you can swap out any nuts that you have at home. They all give you very similar nutrition benefits, a lot of those anti-inflammatory healthy fats. So I've got my pecans here. Also going to add those to the skillet. And then just about a third of a cup of maple syrup. And we're just going to leave that in the skillet. It's going to kind of simmer, get real sticky and delicious, and it's going to warm up those frozen berries for us. So yeah, for that part of it, it's just kind of to set it and forget it. And that topping is going to cook while we get together the rest of the French toast ingredients. Next, basic French toast. It's got milk, egg, vanilla extract, and cinnamon. The recipe does have proportions of how much of each to use. The more you cook, the more familiar you get. You can kind of start to eyeball it, but we'll start with just one egg. So we're gonna crack it into the bowl. You ideally want to have a bowl that's big enough so you can dip your French toast into it. So, if you only have a small bowl, that's fine, but if you have something like this that's a little bit bigger, that's going to be a better option for this. So I've got my egg. I'm going to do a quarter cup of milk. I've got vanilla extract. When you go to the grocery store, you can buy either, this is imitation vanilla extract. They also have real vanilla extract. You'll notice there's a very big price difference between the two. Taste-wise, they taste very similar. And then the last thing we're going to add is our cinnamon. This stove gets really hot, so I'm gonna turn that down. Just because that maple syrup's starting to kind of boil. So really you just want it to be kind of getting warm, not necessarily boiling. And then last but not least, adding the cinnamon. Then you'll just take a whisk, or if you don't have a whisk, you can just use a fork. We're going to stir that up to kind of get that egg broken so that it'll evenly coat all the pieces of French toast. And then you'll see if I can do this well this morning. It just kind of makes like a brown splotchy mix. And that's going to be what we dip our French toast into. So I've got, I guess first thing I should do would be turn the stove on, turn the burner on for this. Same thing, you don't want the burner on super, super hot. You want it probably about medium because you don't want it to burn the toast. So you don't want the surface to be too hot. Next thing, you can either use a nonstick skillet, you can add a little bit of nonstick cooking spray, or even a little bit of butter to your pan to keep your toast from sticking if you don't have nonstick skillets. So let that warm up a little bit. And then the next step is pretty darn easy. You're just gonna take your toast. You can use your hands, you can use a pair of tongs if you don't wanna get your hands dirty, and just dip the toast into it. So it's gonna get kind of coated on either side. Flip it over. And then, as you can tell with me using these tongs, I usually just use my hands if I'm cooking for myself. And then you'll just add it to the pan. And you're gonna let it cook, 3 to 4 minutes on each side till it starts to get that like nice distinct French toast crispy crunch to the outside of it. So that's in a nutshell how to cook French toast. I'm gonna let this cook on one side first so that we can kind of see what it looks like to flip. But I mean, I think we started about 7 minutes ago and we're already almost done. So if you were cooking this for yourself at home, you could at this point kind of start doing up your dishes. I got, a whisk dirty and a couple measuring cups dirty, but really doesn't take a whole lot of time to throw together. And like I said, it's a very high carb option because it is based with bread. And it's great that it's got some color in it too. So when we're looking at making our balanced plates, we can kind of get a little bit of all those different food groups in there. Nutrition crew, does anybody have any fun tips or tricks that they like to add to their French toast for toppings or anything?
Sometimes we do a little nutmeg in there if we're feeling fancy. My husband likes powdered sugar.
Yeah. One secret ingredient that my dad taught me when he was making French toast was he likes to put a little bit of coffee creamer in his French toast batter. So adding that to the milk and the eggs. So if you've got like a French vanilla coffee creamer, just giving it a little bit of extra flavor. So there's lots of different ways you can get creative with how you're cooking it. If you don't have nuts, walnuts, pecans, whatever, but you're still looking to get some healthy fats, topping it with some peanut butter. Peanut butter and syrup is a great tasting combination that goes well on French toast. So there's another suggestion there.
Hey, what about using a milk sub for our dairy-free athletes?
Yeah, so you can use a milk sub. There's a lot of different recipes online. They have people that use soy milk, people that use almond milk. It kind of seems like you can use whatever you want to, because really the secret to good French toast is going to be the egg. The milk is just kind of what helps spread that egg around. So certainly if someone is dairy-free, lactose-free, they could use a milk sub and still enjoy French toast. Okay, so I'm going to pick up this toast and flip it, and then I'll bring the camera up. And as you can see, it's got kind of that look of like you'd expect to see a French toast, where it's got kind of that browning on certain spots, and it's kind of got a little bit of a nice crispy crust on the outside there. And then my fruit topping is sizzling in my little pan, so that'll be nice and delicious to go over the top of it. But I plan to serve this with some mixed berry Greek yogurt on it as well, just to kind of make it a full breakfast. So yep, same thing, just gonna let the bread toast for just a couple more minutes on this side so both sides look the same. And then we've got breakfast made. Does anybody have any questions or anything else? I know we kind of had a little bit of time to talk about that just now, but is everybody feeling pretty good about how to make French toast this morning? Okie doke, it's a real easy one, but I figured finish off the week with something easy and something tasty. So with that, I will look forward to seeing everybody next week for our next Meal Prep Monday, or our prep cooking class on Monday. Thanks.